afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Live at 4 as we make it through another week.
We've made it through another one. It's Friday.
It is Friday. Lots coming up today, but first, here's what's making news. Madison Public Schools will stay virtual through much of January. Hear from a parent who says the decision is a relief.
Wisconsin has become the center of the nation's COVID-19 outbreak. We'll update the latest numbers and share the headlines from around the country.
And there's a new secure way to submit your absentee ballot in Madison. Eric Franke shares where you can turn them in.
But first at 4, Sauk County officials have released the name of the man killed Wednesday at Devil's Lake State Park.
Sauk County Sheriff Chip Meister says 24-year-old John Craig Schmutzer from Wauwatosa was stabbed to death Wednesday morning. His body was found along the Grotto Trail near the park's south shore. A spokesperson for UW-Madison says he was a 2018 graduate and majored in finance. He was currently working for BMO Harris Bank in Milwaukee. Investigators still don't know much about who killed Schmutzer. The sheriff says in the days leading up to his death, he made trips to Hilldale Mall in Madison and Wildcat State Park in Vernon County. He also spent some time in northwest Sauk County. The Sauk County Sheriff is asking anyone who may know something about this case to call the Sauk County Area Crime Stoppers tip line. Let's take a look outside on this Friday. A little frost on something the way it looks.
A little frost and some snowflakes earlier this morning.
Just a few flakes.
Yeah, just a few.
But windy and milder are the weather words. Chris Reese is in the backyard, at least milder for a little while.
Yeah, windy and milder for a day, at least, as we go into the weekend. That breeze is already starting to pick up outside right now. You may hear those leaves whistling. We've got a couple showers trying to move through south central Wisconsin. Snowflakes as you work your way up towards the north. But we're focused on any of these rain showers that come on through. If it does, it's not going to last long. You're talking a shower that pops up for a moment and then it is gone just as fast as it came on through. Here's our resolution Doppler right now. A little line of showers moving through western parts of Dane County, or at least knocking on the door of it. You work your way up towards Black Earth, Mazomanie. You're probably starting to get that cloudy look in the sky. A shower's getting ready to roll on through, but don't expect that to last long. Here's the Edgewater Sky Camera. You can see some of that cloud cover that I just talked about as this camera focuses in towards the west. Temperatures are still a bit chilly though, 49, and that is with a breeze. Before too long, we're gonna have to start talking about the wind chill once again. 50s as you work your way a little bit further towards the south, 40 though as you work your way towards the north, even some 30s trying to show up on the map. Here's visible cloud track though. You see where the clouds are now, and they're already starting to break up on the backside of that. That leads us into the overnight hours. I expect those skies to become clear. That allows those temperatures to drop. We are going into the 30s and potentially towards that freezing mark as we move into the overnight hours. Then tomorrow, it's about the wind. We have a wind advisory going from tomorrow morning and into the afternoon. You'll want to hold on to your hats. Traffic-wise, no big issues are showing up, but we are starting to see some slowdowns on the Beltline in the eastbound direction. Keep that in mind. We'll keep an eye on traffic along with the forecast throughout the show, guys.
All right, thank you, Chris. We'll check back in a little bit. A Wisconsin Dells man accused of contributing to a plot to kidnap the governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer, is now facing extradition to Michigan. Brian Higgins appears in Columbia County Court this afternoon. Higgins' lawyer is asking for Wisconsin to require Michigan to request the extradition. Lawyers for the state of Wisconsin say they are against that. A judge ruled to wait on making a decision on extradition until all of the proper paperwork is filed. Higgins will return to court on Monday.
Wisconsin has seen more than 3,000 new daily cases of COVID-19, nearly half of the last 10 days. Today was no different, as state health officials announced more than 3,500 new cases yesterday. Wisconsin posted more new cases than any other state in the country. And more troubling news today, health officials say 20 more people have died from the virus in Wisconsin. New confirmed cases at 2 of its buildings has Madison schools staying all virtual well into 2021.
MMSD says it didn't make the decision lightly. Amanda Quintana spoke with parents to see how they'll deal with the extension.
Students will learn virtually through this second quarter. That starts November 2nd, goes all the way through winter break, and almost all the way through January. District leaders say it was an agonizing decision. This means many working parents will need to continue finding someone to watch their children during the day. For those with kids struggling with online learning, especially younger kids, this is disappointing. Jen Tucker-Rigovich has a kindergartner. She says her daughter is sad she isn't able to see all the friends that she met in 4K. But Jen says her first reaction to today's news was actually relief.
Obviously, this whole situation is horrible. There's no perfect solutions. But I really do believe that in making this decision, MMSD is truly acting in the best interest of the community as a whole.
In a press release, Superintendent Dr. Carlton Jenkins said it's always our preference to have students in school buildings learning face-to-face and engaging with teachers and staff. However, at the heart of this decision was our ultimate responsibility to ensure the safety and well-being of everyone who enters our buildings each day. Many parents will need to keep turning to daycares and other programs. At 5 o'clock, we'll hear from the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County and how this decision might affect their after-school programs.
Amanda, thank you. Students and staff with the MSCR CARES program at Toki Middle School and Orchard Ridge Elementary School are being notified after a group of people came down with COVID-19. The school buildings are closed for at least the next 2 weeks. An email was sent out to parents last night. Parents have received more information about classes during the shutdown and if they should be tested for the virus.
The U.S. has surpassed 8 million COVID-19 cases and is averaging more than 50,000 daily new infections, a sign the country is in for a tough winter. As coronavirus cases spike in a number of states, Dr. Anthony Fauci once again warned about challenges that lie ahead. The U.S. reported more than 63,000 new COVID-19 cases yesterday, the largest number since mid-August. Here in Wisconsin, 1 in every 5 coronavirus tests is coming back positive. State health officials are urging residents to avoid all gatherings, large and small.
You can't enter into the cool months of the fall and the cold months of the winter with a high community infection baseline. If you get infected, even if you don't have a single symptom, what you are doing is you are propagating a pandemic.
The coronavirus also continues to impact the sports world. The Indianapolis Colts temporarily shut down their practice facility Friday after several people within the organization tested positive for COVID-19. Team officials later announced those samples were retested and came back negative, so the team's Sunday game against the Cincinnati Bengals is a go. Today, officials with Pfizer confirmed the pharmaceutical company would not apply for emergency authorization of its coronavirus vaccine before mid-November, ruling out President Trump's claims that a vaccine would be ready before Election Day.
Well, more businesses continue to struggle amid the pandemic. Another Madison coffee shop says it will close temporarily as it maneuvers the current situation. Collectivo Coffee on the Capitol Square will close for the time being. The coffee company is also temporarily closing its location in Milwaukee's 3rd Ward neighborhood. The shops will close on November 1st. It is unclear when they'll reopen. Stay with News 3 Now and Channel 3000 as we continue to follow all aspects of the pandemic. You can find the latest stories and helpful resources on our website, channel3000.com.
Absentee ballots continue to flood into municipal clerks' offices around the state. The Wisconsin Elections Commission says as of today, more than 821,000 of the nearly 1.4 million ballots requested have been returned. More than 135,000 ballots have been returned in Dane County. More than 21,000 ballots have been returned in Rock County. Early in-person voting starts next Tuesday in Wisconsin. Across the country, more than 20 million people have reportedly already voted. And if you live in Madison and want a safe place to drop off your absentee ballot, you can go to just about any of the city's 14 fire stations. City crews are installing ballot drop boxes throughout the day.
Eric Franke is here now to tell us how the city is ensuring that voters feel secure about the process.
Susan and Mark, the boxes are painted to look like the Madison city flag, blue and white, the big block letters that say vote on the side. They're made out of a 1/4-inch steel and feature step-by-step instructions. A list reminds you how to properly fill out your ballot, sign it, and have a witness sign it as well. Sworn election officials will collect ballots from the lock boxes every day at 5 p.m.
They are counting the ballots, putting them in a secure ballot bag, securing that with a tamper evidence seal, bringing it back to the clerk's office. The seal number will be checked, the number of ballots will be checked, so we're putting all of these specifications in place to make sure that folks are aware that their ballot will be counted and assured of that fact.
And the boxes will be open now through 5 p.m. on November 2nd. That's the night before the election. At that time, the city will close the slots and you'll have to bring any ballots to your polling place. Again, you can find these at every city station except fire station number 7. Voters near that location, they'll need to just use the drop box that's right around the corner at Elver Park on McKenna. You still have until October 29th, of course, to request a ballot by mail, but the city clerk says don't wait until the last minute. Susan.
Eric, thank you. President Trump is coming to Wisconsin tomorrow for a rally at Southern Wisconsin Regional Airport in Janesville. The doors will open at 3 o'clock. The event is scheduled to start at 6 p.m. Governor Tony Evers says the president is encouraging a super spreader event with his planned rally. It will be the second of 2 busy days of campaign stops in multiple key states. Today, the president is holding 3 events in Florida and Georgia. In Fort Myers, President Trump made an appeal to senior citizens, a key voting bloc in a must-win state.
Seniors will be the first in line for the vaccine, and we will soon be ending this pandemic.
Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden will also talk about health care at a campaign event in Michigan.
Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin is in Madison today, casting her ballot at the city-county building. She spoke this morning to reporters about the state of health care in Wisconsin and across the country. When asked about President Trump's rally in Janesville tomorrow, Senator Baldwin called the rally dangerous.
I think it's very dangerous for him to be coming for a live, not socially distanced rally in the state of Wisconsin, where we are setting records, it seems, several times each week in terms of the...
Dane County Executive Joe Parisi is also criticizing the president's trip to Wisconsin and asked him to make the trip more about leadership and less about politics. In a statement this morning, he said Wisconsin now sits atop nearly every national worst list for COVID-19. Mr. President, you're coming to the new national epicenter of this pandemic. Come to Wisconsin and embrace mask wearing. Don't come to be political. Instead, be presidential during a time when leadership matters. Well, there's more at 4. He was President Obama's official White House photographer. Retired Pete Sousa now calls Madison home.
Tonight, MSNBC is airing a documentary about Sousa's career and his remarkable photos. We'll talk with Pete Sousa when Live at 4 continues.
You're watching News 3 Now, Live at 4.
Joe Biden will make health care affordable. His plan gives a tax credit to help working families pay insurance premiums, lowers prescription costs by 60%, and protects coverage for pre-existing conditions. No matter what, he'll pay for it by getting rid of Donald Trump's tax cuts for the super rich. Because Joe knows our economy's strength doesn't come from the top. It comes from working families. And that's who he's fighting for every day.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
We are the Thrivers. Women with metastatic breast cancer, standing in the struggle, hustling through the hurt, asking for science, not sorries. Our time for more time has come. Living longer is possible and proven in women taking Kisqali plus fulvestrant or a non-steroidal aromatase inhibitor. Kisqali is the only treatment in its class with proven overall survival results in 2 clinical trials, helping women live longer with HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer. Kisqali was also significantly more effective at delaying disease progression versus a non-steroidal aromatase inhibitor or fulvestrant alone. Kisqali can cause lung problems or an abnormal heartbeat, which can lead to death. It can cause serious skin reactions, liver problems, and low white blood cell counts that may result in severe infections. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including breathing problems, cough, chest pain, a change in your heartbeat, dizziness, yellowing of the skin or eyes, dark urine, tiredness, loss of appetite, abdomen pain, bleeding, bruising, fever, chills, or other symptoms of an infection, a severe or worsening rash, are or plan to become pregnant or breastfeeding. Avoid grapefruit during treatment. Kisqali is not approved for use with tamoxifen. It's our time to continue to shine because we are the Thrivers. Ask your doctor about Kisqali, the only treatment in its class proven to help women live longer in 2 clinical trials.
He's our independent voice who answers to no one but us, Todd Novak. Todd Novak is working across the aisle, passing the bipartisan COVID-19 relief bill, helping hospitals and communities get the resources needed to fight the coronavirus. Todd Novak is helping families, small businesses, and farmers as we work to rebuild the economy safely. And Todd Novak led the bipartisan effort to make sure our water is clean and safe for future generations. Our voice, Todd Novak for State Assembly.
Because of this, we built Ford Super Duty to be the most capable heavy-duty pickup ever. Because of this, we built Ford F-150 with 375 horsepower. Because of this, we built Ford Ranger with the terrain management system. And because Ford trucks are built for this, you made Ford America's best-selling brand. Now lease a built Ford Tough F-150 STX for just $299 a month.
Welcome back. The pandemic has many people dropping some of their favorite activities, but it also has many picking up other hobbies.
Sales of musical instruments are spiking, in some cases by more than 300%. Musical instrument sales are soaring across the country as people use their time at home to try something new. Stores are seeing more women and younger customers than before. Guitar Center saw its total sales grow 85% in August.
Some of the categories we've seen specifically that have been really kind of uptrending are acoustic guitars and keyboards. Clearly, people have had those on their bucket list as items they wanted to learn how to play.
Guitar Center says sales have nearly doubled for keyboards, triple for acoustic guitars, and more than triple for electronic drums as learning something new strikes a chord. Guitar Center also saw an uptick in sales of podcast equipment from customers looking for ways to express themselves a little more publicly from inside their homes. Stocks closed mixed on Wall Street. The Dow Industrials added 112 points, ending the week at 28,606. The NASDAQ lost 42. The S&P 500 was fractionally higher.
During my 8 years as the chief official White House photographer for the Obama administration, I documented all the important moments of his presidency. The emotion, the tough decisions, the stressful times, the fun times, but also showing what he was like as a dad, as a husband, just as a human being. To me, that shows how the job of the president should be done.
That was a clip from the new documentary, The Way I See It, which documents the life and career of former chief White House photographer Pete Sousa. It airs tonight at 9 o'clock on MSNBC.
After President Obama's time in the White House, Sousa moved to Madison and continues to share his photos on Instagram.
We spoke with him earlier this week about the documentary and his thoughts on the current political situation.
The job of the chief official White House photographer is to make authentic photographs.
Photographs break down the idea that these people are somehow different from us.
The first time that we went to the UN, he and Reggie Love played basketball. At one point, President Obama blocks Reggie's shot, and he goes, "Did you get that block?" Number one, you have to have trust between you and the president. And two, you have to have access to everything that's going on. And because of my situation, I think knowing Barack Obama and him understanding the role of the White House photographer, I was able to have that access and have the trust of him to let me be there when things were happening. Unlike his predecessor, Mr. Trump does not allow his staff photographer to capture photographs of life and work inside the White House.
If you just stacked up the images of the Obama presidency and the Trump presidency, you would see the two stories of America in the starkest possible contrast.
Describe those 8 years working with President Obama. What was it like?
Working at the White House is like trying to take a sip of water from a fire hose that never shuts off. I think that's an apt description of what my job was like. It was like every day, if I wasn't physically at the White House, I was monitoring my BlackBerry. I was always on call. And, and it was like that every day, every week. every year for 8 years. When Barack Obama was elected, I could see what he meant to the African-American community. This 5-year-old kid asked Obama, "Is my haircut just like yours?" President Obama bent over and let that kid touch his head and his hand.
That image stands for how kids will see themselves differently forever.
I thought, who is this man? How does he deal with crisis? Leadership, character, and empathy. Don't you wish we had that now?
You were literally like a fly on the wall, and you were capturing every fleeting moment you possibly could.
Yeah, which is why I never wanted to take a day off, because you can never predict when history is going to happen, or you can never predict when these fleeting moments are going to happen. And if you're not there, you're definitely not going to make a picture. So, you know, my attitude was just be there all the time.
Do you miss it?
No.
Now you have a life.
Look, I thoroughly enjoy documenting for history what happens in a presidency. There's no question about it. But, you know, it takes so much out of you physically and mentally. And I kind of put my personal life on hold for 8 years.
Let's talk about your social criticism of the current administration. When and why did that begin?
Let's remember how this particular, our current president, began his, campaign, which was basically with the birther issue. You know, he knew it was not true. It was all BS. And yet he knew he'd also get a lot of attention if he kept, harping on that issue. So I think after the election and before the inauguration, that transition period, my mind was going all different directions. You know, the day after the inauguration, when he lied about crowd size, who does that? And sent his press secretary out to lie for him as well. I think that was when I said, okay, I need to speak out.
When I first met Pete, his politics were not at all evident. Pete changed. He could no longer be this fly on the wall.
Pete Souza is getting attention online with replies to President Trump's tweets.
I had to speak out. I knew how the job should be done.
Pete felt the urgency to show what the office can be. This was a 911.
Reagan and Obama respected the dignity of the office. The presidency is a serious job, and I was going to do everything I could to make sure people didn't forget that.
Was that unusual? The White House photographer doesn't have an obligation to be Switzerland and be a diplomat and keep their opinions to themselves?
Well, I think when you're in the job, yes, absolutely. I mean, you didn't see me doing this while I was in the job. But, on January 21st, I became a private citizen. I had a unique vantage point, having worked for not only a Republican and a Democratic president, but arguably the most iconic Republican and the most iconic Democratic president of my generation. So I came at this from a unique perspective. And I thought that because of that, I could frame things in a way other people couldn't.
Do you have a picture for every single thing that Donald Trump has lied about with Barack Obama?
Pretty much.
The documentary airs tonight on MSNBC. Pete, great to see you again.
Great to see you,
Thanks for your
Pete.
time.
Yeah, thanks, Mark and Susan, for having me on.
Interesting man. Really
Yeah,
is.
now a Madison resident, lives here in Madison.
Well, still to come at 4, here's one way to get people to wear a mask. Make it bacon-scented.
Bacon. Well, we'll tell you how you can get a chance to win one coming up after Chris's first warn forecast.
Rest comfortably with brands you can trust at Wanakee Furniture ETC. Create a unique and stylish room with made-in-the-USA products from companies like Smith Brothers of Bern. Select from a wide variety of sofas at a great price.
Bring quality home at Wanakee Furniture ETC.
When Joe Biden wants an update on the virus, he calls on the nation's top health experts. Working together for all Americans is what Joe does. When writing his healthcare plan, Joe Biden worked with both doctors and patients to make healthcare affordable by lowering premiums reducing drug costs, and protecting people with pre-existing conditions. Joe listened to both small business owners and workers to create his economic plan that cuts taxes for middle-class families, creates 18 million new jobs in his first term, and raises wages by as much as $15,000 a year. Joe Biden's plans will help working families immediately by making the super rich finally pay their fair share. For Joe, it's never been about ego. It's always been about the work he can do for working families. It's what he's always done. Joe Biden brings everyone to the table and gets it done.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
People were afraid I was contagious. I felt gross.
It was kind of a shock after I started Cosentyx.
4 years clear.
Real people with psoriasis look and feel better with Cosentyx. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms. If your inflammatory bowel disease symptoms develop or worsen, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to, serious allergic reactions may occur. Learn more at Cosentyx.com.
Here at Harker Heating and Cooling of Madison, we are proudly celebrating over 70 years of excellence. A lot can change in 70 years, but some things never do, like our commitment to providing our customers with 100% satisfaction every single day. When you make that call to Harker, you can be rest assured that a team of qualified, trustworthy, skilled individuals are ready to address your home service concerns. Harker Heating and Cooling, your hometown heroes for over 70 years.
Harker Heating and Cooling.
I worked for 47 years. Donald Trump, he's talking about messing with my Social Security. Them guys think it's monopoly money? No, it's our money. We work for it. You don't get to play with my finances. You don't get to play with my security for my family. Joe Biden looks out for the little guy. He understands what seniors are going through. I think he's going to keep Social Security safe. We need to get Biden in there to protect it.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Experience handcrafted and hand-finished furniture by genuine Amish craftsmen at Wanakee Furniture ETC, featuring hardwood made in the USA home furnishings by Simply Amish and other great brands you can trust.
Bring quality home at Wanakee Furniture ETC.
Well, take a look at this. Steve Cardillo is on a platform of a cherry picker doing barbell squats. He's attached chains to the bar, and the higher he goes, the heavier those metal links are to lift. What's harder than doing barbell squats with heavy chains attached as you're lifted by a cherry picker? Attaching a bucket full of water to those chains. His quads have got to be hurting a little bit.
Well, you might as well work out with a view, right? It helps.
I guess. Why not? Good for him.
As the young folks say, weird flex, but okay.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So did you see the snow this morning, Mr. Snowman?
You know what? I did not. I was wrapped up in warm blankets and having a good time in my sleep. But some folks are seeing some flakes right now. I just got a Snapchat from a friend in Baraboo, and there's some flakes coming down there. We're going to talk about who could see the showers with the flake or two mixed in as we go through tonight and into the weekend as well.
The Golf Range and Suites of By10's Golfland provides safe fun. Golf range buckets and balls are sanitized after each use, and high-touch areas are regularly sanitized. Full grill and bar service is provided safely to your golf suite by wait staff. Try fun, easy-to-play top tracer games like Go Fish, only at By10's Golfland.
Donald Trump is lying about Medicare and Social Security. Trump's pushing to slash Medicare benefits. He's proposed eliminating the funding source for Social Security, a plan that would drain Social Security by 2023. Joe Biden will protect Medicare, and he's proposed a plan to increase Social Security benefits. The choice is clear. Donald Trump will cut Medicare and Social Security. Joe Biden will protect them.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
The pandemic is spreading, and people with pre-existing health conditions are most at risk. But Donald Trump is still trying to repeal protections for people with pre-existing conditions. Joe Biden took on the insurance companies and forced them to cover pre-existing conditions. As president, he'll give Americans the choice to buy public health insurance like Medicare and bring down costs by negotiating with hospitals and drug companies. Joe has a plan. FFPAC's responsible for the content of this ad.
These are real people, not actors, who've got their eczema under control. With less eczema, you can show more skin. So roll up those sleeves and help heal your skin from within with Dupixent. Dupixent is the first treatment of its kind that continuously treats moderate to severe eczema or atopic dermatitis, even between flare-ups. Dupixent is a biologic and not a cream or steroid. Many people taking Dupixent saw clear or almost clear skin and had significantly less itch. Don't use if you're allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can occur, including anaphylaxis, which is severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, or a parasitic infection. If you take asthma medicines, don't change or stop them without talking to your doctor. So help heal your skin from within and talk to your eczema specialist about Dupixent. If your financial situation has changed, we may be able to help.
By 10's Golfland offers 3 award-winning 18-hole miniature golf courses, 2 outside and 1 inside, all open day and night. Have peace of mind. Miniature golf clubs and balls are sanitized after each use, and high-touch areas are regularly sanitized. Enjoy safe fun for everyone at By 10's Golfland.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Well, some parts of south central Wisconsin saw their first snowflakes today. Here's normally when you would see that first dusting of snow right around October 27th. So oddly enough, while early, we're not all that far away from this time of the year. Our first inch of snow, that typically doesn't happen until November 27th. Now, last year, it was October 28th for both. If you remember, we had 3 inches of snow on the 28th before closer to 6 inches of snow fell on Halloween. We're not talking that kind of snow anytime soon, but nonetheless, folks saw their first flakes today. Strong south winds are expected as we move into Saturday, and we're still going to be chilly as we go through much of next week with more opportunities to see flurries mixed into the forecast. Some folks are seeing those right now. We have a weak disturbance moving through the state of Wisconsin. For the most part, this is bringing cloud cover and isolated showers that are popping up at times. Now, the further north you are, that's where you're just cold enough for a couple of flakes to mix in, but even when you're south, you can see a couple of flakes mixing in. Right now, we have a couple of showers starting to move through western and northern Dane County. Up around Baraboo and the Dells, it's now moved on through, but these showers have been producing some snowflakes at times. So don't be surprised if you see it. Not everyone will, but the chance is there. A couple of clouds starting to move over our horizon right now. Here's that disturbance as it starts to move through, but we have a warm front that's going to begin to impact our weather as we go throughout the week. That will lead to warmer weather tomorrow, along with a rain chance through your Saturday as well. Then Saturday night into Sunday, a cold front comes through. There's the rain out ahead of that. You might get some flurries on the backside. As we move into Monday, another system comes through. I expect that to be rain, but a flake or two may mix in with that. Then the cold, after settling in for a couple days, it will begin to relax somewhat. Here we are on Monday and Tuesday. Then by Wednesday and into Thursday, that cold relaxes a bit before another shot begins to come in. That extended forecast shows what I'm talking about. 43 for your high on Monday, then back to the mid-50s for Thursday. Then another cold front has us back into the 40s by next weekend. Overall, Mark and Susan, expect these temperatures to remain below average overall as we go through the next couple of weeks.
All right, well, it's the middle of October. Yes, it is.
It's that time of the year.
All right, Chris, thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Well, soon you could be bringing home the bacon in the form of a mask.
Meat company Hormel used a special ink to create a mask that smells like bacon, and they're offering you a chance to win this smellicious innovation. CNN's Jeannie Mose reports.
It's the smell that won't let sleeping dogs lie.
Bacon! Bacon! Where's the bacon?
It's on your face. The Hormel bacon folks figured what better scent in which to swaddle your nose.
It's one of those foods that just truly makes everything better.
Even a pandemic? They came up with what Hormel calls a smellicious innovation. The breathable bacon mask is now reality, though you have to win the right to wear one. Enter for a chance to whiff A PR person who got one tweeted, "This smells so good I'm considering wearing it all day even though I have no plans to leave the house." Someone else joked, "Accidentally nibbled a hole in my bacon-scented face mask." "Don't eat bacon, inhale it," is the mask's motto.
It's not too overpowering.
Sure, there are plenty of novelty masks out there, from the dog snout to lips to shark teeth to missing teeth to a burger. Someone even mocked up actual bacon into the shape of a mask, but none of those actually smell.
Similar to what you would see on Scratch and Sniff. So we actually found an ink that we could print on the back of these masks. It smells just like our bacon.
Other companies like Banana Republic have made masks promoting themselves, but they didn't literally raise a stink. The bacon mask reminds us of a short-lived invention from the 80s, the scent alarm clock that woke you up with the scent of bacon. The pork aroma on the mask will start to dissipate after 2 or 3 washings. Until then, keep the dog away from your face.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. No. It's bacon!
Ginny Most, CNN, New York.
It's bacon!
Brilliant.
There's a 2020 story for you.
Who doesn't love bacon?
I know. I mean, it would drive your coworkers crazy, though, wouldn't it?
I don't know if it's that powerful. I think it's as you breathe in.
Yeah, I wonder. It's a great idea.
Great idea. Well, there's more at 4 coming up. We'll preview the new dark comedy, The Devil Has a Name.
And then coming up tonight at 5, we're talking with a psychologist about the psychology behind wearing a mask or not wearing one. That and more coming up at 5.
Welcome to the all-new Dwellings.
Millions of customers are leaving their providers and switching to Spectrum. And if you have satellite, it's not hard to see why. Because unlike satellite, Spectrum gives you all the services you need, like internet and TV from one provider.
They do?
Yeah, they do. And Spectrum has the fastest download speeds with the most reliable performance. Get Spectrum Internet with speeds at 200 megabits for $44.99 a month. Call 833-909-4499. Spectrum wins on TV, too. Unlike satellite, Spectrum doesn't have an ugly dish to install. And you get exclusive premium original content with Spectrum Originals.
Wow, really?
Really. Plus, Spectrum has more free HD and free on demand. Get Spectrum TV from $44.99 a month. Call 833-909-4499. And unlike satellite providers, Spectrum doesn't have contracts or early termination fees. We'll even buy out your current contract up to $500. Switch to America's fastest growing internet, TV, and voice provider. Get Spectrum Internet and TV from $44.99 a month each. Ask about our easy self-install options. Call 833-909-4499.
Every 4 years, you hear, "This is the most important election of our lifetime," and you shrug. But this year, it feels true, doesn't it? Now it feels important to get ready to vote. Registering, the right ID, getting your ballot, and making it count. Start by calling the voter helpline, 608-285-2141, for help getting ready to vote. Or text "Help Me Vote." It's free, it's not affiliated with any party, and you will be heard. Call today and be heard. Get ready and vote.
A service of the Voter ID Coalition with support from Dane County.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
One word? Anxious. Anxious. Because we see what this president is currently doing. We've got 170,000 Americans dead because of COVID. There's this lack of trust.
This country is starving for good leadership right now.
Big thing that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris can do is just rebuild trust.
I'm not going to agree with everything that anyone says. My wife will tell you that from the beginning. But who do I trust my children's future to? I trust Joe Biden more than anyone else.
Dwellings, Madison's best kept $150 secret. Now open in Fitchburg.
Tonight at 5, the Madison School District says it will keep students online for the second quarter. How parents are reacting at 5.
After another cold night, Saturday will be windy and a little milder. Colder weather for much of next week may bring a few flakes of snow at times. Our first warn forecast at 5.
And then ahead at 6, how UW researchers are finding better ways to detect a deadly illness caused by COVID-19.
Well, a new movie opening Friday in theaters and online combines real and fictional characters in a variety of genres. Drama, dark comedy, slapstick, and suspense. Why not?
Is that it? David Daniels takes a look.
You gotta have enough saved up by now to get a patch of your own. Huh? You can probably buy a piece of mine.
You looking to sell?
You making me an offer?
For this? Hell no.
David Strathairn and Edward James Olmos play an almond farmer and his foreman, who go up against oil executives played by Kate Bosworth and Alfred Molina in The Devil Has a Name.
For every gallon of crude oil sucked from this earth comes 15 gallons of water. No good to any living thing.
What's wrong with it?
Besides the fact that it's radioactive.
Olmos also directed the film, which is inspired by actual events.
I read the script, and boy, the story was one that I wasn't ready for. I knew nothing about this. Water contamination in the Central Valley of California that produces 70% of all the produce that we eat in the United States, as well as 80% of all the almonds that are eaten in the whole world.
He embraces the material with such sincerity and humanity, and as a director, he also understands what it takes.
Pure oil is poisoning my farm.
See, if this farmer is successful with this lawsuit, then he has established a precedent.
Pure Oil knew from the start all about it and did absolutely nothing but profit.
Martin Sheen, as the farmer's lawyer, spells out a reason for companies to cover up problems instead of fixing them.
The net present value rule states, if you make more money doing it than what it would cost if you get caught doing it, continue doing it.
Viva la revolución.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Oh, that looks interesting.
Yeah, we'll see what Will Loper thinks about it on Monday. Still to come at 4, the Women of Broadway come to Overture Center, virtually, of course.
Our Michael Bruno goes behind the screens to find out how it all works when Live at 4 continues.
Day in the middle of the Bruce Company nursery. Miss Lisa Briggs joins me here today.
Hello, Emmy Fink.
It's one of my favorite times of year.
Mine too. This is my favorite season. I love the fall.
The weather is good, and no matter whether you're a good decorator or not, anybody can decorate for fall and make it look great.
That is true. All the people who say they have brown thumbs, anybody can put a pumpkin in a pot.
I know you want to talk about a couple of your little props.
So this one is a pumpkin called One Too Many. I think the story behind it is that the seeds are really prolific. So, and there were like gobs of these pumpkins. It's my favorite to carve. It looks gorgeous, and it's really super easy to carve. And we've got all sorts of great options for decorating inside, for decorating outside. There are corn stalks, beautiful mums and cabbages, decorative corn. And then for inside, we have these really cute, adorable little scarecrows that you can put on a stake. You can put it in a pot with a mum below it. Easy breezy.
So for everyone who wants to have a fun activity that you can do at home, maybe if you have some kids, you guys have a fantastic take-home kit.
Yes, we have a kit that's got some paints and some balloons, so all kinds of things that you could do to decorate pumpkins. And it also has some QR codes for demo videos.
Nice.
And there's also a sheet in there for a coloring contest, and the kiddos can win some really fun prizes like puzzles and family games. So fun for the whole family.
So stop in here and you can pick it up right in store.
Absolutely.
And beautify your space, whatever space you have, indoor, outdoor, front porch. Just make it pretty here at the Bruce Company. She's Lisa Briggs.
She's Emmy Fink.
That's right, and you're
buzzed into Madison.
And a girl.
Joe Biden will make healthcare affordable. His plan gives a tax credit to help working families pay insurance premiums, lowers prescription costs by 60%, and protects coverage for pre-existing conditions. No matter what, he'll pay for it by getting rid of Donald Trump's tax cuts for the super rich. Because Joe knows our economy's strength doesn't come from the top. It comes from working families. And that's who he's fighting for every day. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Joe Biden was raised with middle-class values. Joe doesn't need to be the center of attention or see himself on TV. He has always focused on getting the job done. Joe led us out of the 2008 recession and increased health coverage for millions. As president, Joe will focus on getting us out of our crises. He'll listen to experts, work across the aisle, and put the American people first. FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
Well, check out this dolphin nodding, swimming right next to people. Well, guess what? This dolphin is not real. It's a robot, which makes it perfect for captivity. It's a 550-pound robot with medical-grade silicone skin, and it could be a cruelty-free game changer for marine parks by giving them an alternative to capturing, breeding, and training live animals. U.S. company Edge Innovations is behind this idea. They've developed animatronics used for Hollywood blockbusters like Free Willy and The Deep Blue Sea. And they've already found homes for robot dolphins in marine parks being built in China. The one drawback with the robot dolphin is they're not cheap. The price tag per dolphin is around $26 million.
But they are remarkably
so real.
It's stunning.
You would never in a million years guess that. That's incredible.
It really is.
Well, a new virtual Overture Center series starts next weekend, and it features 3 of the biggest names on Broadway.
Patti LuPone and Laura Benatti and Vanessa Williams will perform virtually as part of Live from the West Side, Women of Broadway. Our Michael Bruno takes us behind the screens to tell us how it's all going to work.
3 fabulous divas are coming to do some live virtual performances, right? Which is kind of a weird thing, but I guess it's a thing now, right? So it'll be fun. We're starting off October with Patti LuPone, and if you don't know Patti, I mean, she's like one of the biggest Broadway divas that's out there, and she's phenomenal. You know, I was just telling my husband last night, I said, okay, you don't know her from Broadway, but you do know her from Life Goes On, right? Like the TV show from way back when. And she played the mom on that one, but she's got 2 Grammys, 2 Tonys, 2 Oliviers. Phenomenal performer. And then we continue in November on the 14th with Laura Benanti, who is also another wonderful Broadway star. She was most recently seen as the replacement in My Fair Lady, the revival that the Lincoln Center just did. And you might have seen her more recently on the Stephen Colbert, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, where she plays First Lady Melania Trump. That's one of the more public roles that we've seen her in. She's just hilarious. Phenomenal storyteller, and she's got a lot of humor to her. She hosted the Jimmy Awards a couple years ago when I went, and that's the National High School Musical Theater Awards hosted in New York. And she was hilarious, and she created this great rapport with the students, and really cares about the education and what the students are able to do. When everything started this spring with all the lockdowns and all of the shows getting canceled, she was telling students, send me your stuff, send me your audition tapes, send me your show, and I'll watch them and I'll give you some feedback. So she's a real personality and a real hoot. I think she's going to be great. She's got 5 Tony nominations herself. So. And then we end, of course, on December 5th. Our last one is with Vanessa Williams, who many know as the first Black Miss America, and also from her recording CDs that she put out shortly thereafter that Miss America win, and more recently her time on Ugly Betty, and some of those TV shows. So it's a phenomenal lineup. I'm excited for it.
How do these concerts benefit the Overture Center?
These shows were created by one of our partners nationally and put together so that there's some sort of revenue stream for us coming in, because right now we don't have any revenue coming in from ticket sales. And so this is one of the ways to support Overture Center and to see a good show at the same time. Tickets are really reasonable. They're $30 a piece for a household. Or if you want to buy all 3, you can get it still for a subscription of $75.
And an added bonus that if you stick around afterwards, you're doing your lovely nightcap series.
We are, yeah. It brings you back to a little bit of a, hey, let's go grab a drink after the show, right? You actually get to talk to somebody right away afterwards. And it was fun when we did that after Christopher Jackson, to even just have that community of, hey, we just had this experience together, even though we were separate in our own houses. Let's talk about it. So yeah, free with your ticket. You can talk with Tim and myself afterwards. We'll have a Zoom link, and and talk about the show and talk about other things that we're watching and keeping ourselves entertained with.
From 3 divas to 1. Michael Bruno.
Hi, Michael.
I'm so jealous. All these divas everywhere, and they didn't ask me to perform.
This is a great opportunity to see some great stars.
You're going to be able to see them doing their cabaret shows, which it should be wonderful because not only will they be singing some wonderful songs, they all have incredible stories to tell about their lives and about their Broadway escapades. So it's really going to be well worth it. And you could buy all 3 of them, and you get a really packaged deal. So it's really a wonderful thing for a nice thing to enjoy for your entire family.
Yeah, we need to support Overture any way we can. These are tough days. Yeah.
It does benefit the Overture, so you can buy tickets through the Overture website, and you'll be supporting them as well.
And just 1 ticket per household. You don't need for everyone sitting around watching.
Yeah, each person doesn't have to buy an individual ticket. You buy 1 ticket, that's good for your entire household. And they also will keep it up. If you can't see it live, they'll keep it up for 72 hours afterwards, so you can watch it later.
Oh, that's great.
The series starts next Saturday with a performance from Patti LuPone. November 14th will be Laura Benanti, right?
Yes.
And on December 5th, Vanessa Williams performing. You can buy virtual tickets for all shows, $75 we mentioned. Head to overturecenter.org for more information. All right, you ready?
Ready for the weekend, Michael?
2, 1. It's Friday! Chris joining in as well. Hi, Jim. Good to see you guys.
Have a good weekend, guys.
Weekend.
Stay well. Be safe.
Thanks.
Chris will have a final forecast coming up.
Let the design team at Wanakee Furniture ETC help you find your inspiration and transform your room. Every style, every budget, our creativity, passion, and expertise will help you design your dream space.
Bring quality home at Wanakee Furniture ETC.
It's no secret, Robertson is Wisconsin's aesthetic leader. But with results this natural, patients can keep it a secret if they want. Our secret to reducing stubborn body fat? Cool Sculpting. Book a free consultation to learn how Cool Sculpting is different at Robertson.
Each year, Americans waste $21 billion by overpaying on car insurance. That's why I went to thezebra.com. Because while every company claims to save you money on car insurance, the Zebra shows you who actually can. You can easily compare quotes from top providers all at once. With the Zebra, you can save up to $375 a year. No fees and no spammy phone calls. Because who needs that?
See what you can save. Compare car insurance for free at thezebra.com.
Here's what you need to know. Joe Biden will not raise taxes on anyone making under $400,000. Biden will get rid of Trump's tax giveaways for the super wealthy and make big corporations finally pay their fair share. Biden will use those savings to help working families and seniors, investing in lowering healthcare costs, improving education, and protecting Social Security and Medicare. Biden's plan. Corporations pay more. You benefit.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Rest comfortably with brands you can trust at Wanakee Furniture ETC. Create a unique and stylish room with made-in-the-USA products from companies like Smith Brothers of Bern. Select from a wide variety of sofas at a great price.
Bring quality home at Wanakee Furniture ETC.
All right, we're getting ready to move into a cooler and unsettled pattern into the weekend. Tomorrow, we'll see some showers around in the morning, sunshine in the afternoon. Tomorrow's also the warmest day of the forecast. Temperatures will top out around 59.
All right, Chris, thank you. Monday on Live at 4, we'll preview the Rock County Historical Society's Oak Hill Cemetery Tour. Its burials, folklore, and the role of the cemetery.
And our film critic, Will Loper, will be here to check out the new movies and streaming shows. That's coming up Monday on Live at 4.
Get the lowest prices of the season now at Ashley Home Store. Clearance and floor sample furniture is 50% off or more. Plus, take a bonus 5% off our sale prices, including clearance. And interest-free financing for up to 4 years. Only at Ashley Home Store.
We took a bad economy that was falling and turned it around. Trump took a good economy and drove it back into the ditch. Through his failure to get COVID under control, his failure to deliver real relief to working people, does he not understand and see the tens of millions of people who've had to file for unemployment this year so far? The people who lost wages while the cost of groceries have gone up dramatically? Donald Trump has been almost singularly focused on the stock market, the Dow and NASDAQ. Not you, not your families. My plan will help create at least 5 million new, good-paying jobs and create them right here in the United States of America. Let's use this opportunity to take bold investments in American industry and innovation so that the future is made in America. I'll be laser focused on working families.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Democrats enabled riots across America, even in small towns.
So we just have officers that can only monitor. They can't do anything about it. Get
out of here, okay?
Ma'am, are they actually sitting on or standing on your car?
On my car. And I got a little girl in the car crying. Are you kidding me? This is insane.
Let the police do their jobs. On November 3rd, vote Trump. Restoration PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
We aren't radical, so why would we want one representing us in Madison? Chris Marion is an extreme partisan liberal who's just fine with calling political opponents Nazis, dictators, and enemies. And Chris Marion wants to take more of your paycheck, too. Marion supports eliminating levy limits, causing property taxes to skyrocket, crushing families as they try to recover. And Marion backs the radical Green New Deal that will cost trillions, destroy jobs, and increase taxes. Chris Marion, just too radical.
It's the Quick Ship Mattress Sale of the Season at Ashley Home Store. Get your best night's sleep faster than any other store in Wisconsin and find unbeatable doorbusters like these. Plus, interest-free financing for up to 6 years while they last at Ashley Home Store.
Well, the weekend is almost upon us, but before we head out, we have to check out this week's best animal story.
Here's Lola and Louie with this week's edition of the News Hounds Now update.
It's News Hounds Now Update with Lola and Louie.
On this week's edition of the News Hounds, it's that time of year.
A high-jumping hound
and a skateboarding Frenchie.
But first, the recent birth of a critically endangered Bornean orangutan took keepers at a zoo in the UK by surprise. Mother Leia had been repeatedly tested to see if she was pregnant, but all tests came back negative. So the birth of her little baby in June came as a complete surprise to keepers at the Chester Zoo. They say Leia is doing a great job looking after her bundle of joy, adding the infant was bright and alert and feeding well. Because Leia is so protective of the little one, keepers have not been able to determine yet if it's a boy or a girl.
It's that time of the year. Goats at the Oregon Zoo in Portland were caught on camera enjoying pumpkins filled with leafy greens. Meet Ruth and Sonia. Zookeepers presented the pair with the pumpkins. You can see them headbutting the gourds and using their hooves to get some of the yummy snacks inside. Soon, the rest of the goats in the pen get in on the action. The Oregon Zoo has been giving all the animals pumpkins during the month of October for some Halloween fun.
Pedestrians in a Phoenix neighborhood should be on the lookout for a bobbing dog's head as they walk by. That would be Max, the jumping dog, an excited rescue pup that loves to scale his 6-foot wall to say hello to passersby. His bouncy behavior has led to local celeb status, and he even has his own Twitter hashtag and Facebook page.
Finally, meet Nordaboss, a skateboarding French bulldog. He donned his best vest and showed off his impressive skateboarding skills in a Moscow park, much to the delight of onlookers. The Frenchie was 7 months old when he got his first board and has not looked back since. Still going strong at 3.5 years old. His owner says Nordboss really got into it, and she feels skateboarding makes him feel important.